Hey guys, Terry with Computer Pro. Finally done after all this time. Not, well, I shouldn't say that. Not 100%, but I'd say 98%. So we got the last shelving unit done with the Packout conversion stuff. So I'll give you a super quick tour how it's set up kind of. It's gonna be a little bit messy because it's not fully organized yet. We got to figure out what we want to do with stuff. We got to label things yet. But it's 90% there. And how those are, we have these metal cleats. I wish that, well, here, I'll show you what they look like. So if I take off this stack here, they're a staggered metal cleat system, okay? So what that looks like is like that, okay? So we staggered them like they showed us in the video of the place where I got them, because that way you can mix and match. You could put a double stack here, a couple single stacks, and you can just keep stacking. And because of the fact that the halves are exactly half of these, everything just works and fits. A lot of people ask me, you know, how do they not fall off when I'm driving and so forth? And it's literally a locking metal cleat, just like the default Milwaukee metal plates, right? Or plastic plates. So you have these things lock in. That's why these are hanging on the wall. The problem is the plastic ones are very, very big, right? So they're great for walls, but they would stick out. Like these shelves aren't that deep, so they would stick way out. So these don't. We got these, and it's the same concept. You put them in and you push it forward and it locks in place, and it's sturdy, and it's not coming off until you hit the Packout release button. And so that's how those work. And so I should have waited till I maybe did a tool loadout so you can kind of see exactly what we have going on. Right now it's just miscellaneous stuff. Like this is my Milwaukee soldering iron set. Magna spot, magna pull, so forth. And in some of those, I did use some Kaizen foam. I'll try to show you this if you can see it. And so this thing's very, very, so it's kind of tearing this up, but I used some Kaizen foam. I got to cut this one a little bit deeper to hold the magnet better. But in some of the toolboxes, I did use the Kaizen foam so that things would fit. This is the magna pull and the magna spot, kind of in the same kit. It just so happens to barely fit in a slim case, which is really cool because the slim cases don't take up a lot of room. And other miscellaneous stuff. This has to be labeled yet, but like that's our crimper set for access control and stuff. So basically we're an IT company, but we do a lot of low voltage cabling. So this is how it's set up for us. Everything is pretty much geared towards, obviously, low voltage. But yeah, and then the layout, like this had to be done differently than this because the toolboxes, like this is an actual toolbox versus these are called Packout organizers. So you got a compact organizer, a slim profile organizer, a full-size organizer, and the toolbox is a different size. So we couldn't use the same layout of these metal mounting cleats on each shelf because then this wouldn't fit. So we kind of had to design it and kind of see, and luckily, I don't know how this worked out like magic, but the vacuum and the ammo can are roughly the same size, obviously, right? And I mean, it barely fits. Everything locks in place. We're talking, there's like 2 millimeters of space between there, right? So we got really lucky. This is like our bandsaw, little hacksaw tool. This is our drill stuff. So this is our wood, concrete. Guess I'll show you those really quick. Oh boy. And so like our wood box, I still have to get a little container to kind of hold the drill bits, but basically the same thing. Kaizen foam, got regular wood drill, a whole hog, which we use a lot, which is really handy. And storage for the bits in there. For the concrete box, it's going to be the same thing, obviously, but just for concrete. So we have a rotary hammer, some concrete bits, Once again, I'm gonna get a container and put these in a container. I'm just looking for the perfect one that I can put in here and it'll fit and everything will be good. But it's cool to keep them separate. You know, we used to keep them in the big rollout and kind of merge them together, and it was so heavy. And, you know, if we don't need concrete, why carry the rotary hammer in, right? That's kind of the thought. And so these are, that's a tight fit for sure. And then it just, like all Packout stuff, locks in place. So driving around, it's super solid. Like, actually, before we had the Packout, before we did this conversion, we still had it pretty clean. We had, like, you know, regular, kind of like this. Like, we have these patch cables in. We had like bins and stuff sitting on shelves, and the shelves were flipped like this, so they have a lip so the things wouldn't fall out. And that worked good. But when we went to the Packout stuff, the whole ride from the cabin, it seems quieter. Like everything, because everything is locked down so much, there's no movement with all this stuff. So it's pretty cool. On the wall here, we've got like mainly fasteners, different screws, some patch cables. Over here we have a couple termination boxes. What I mean by those, the tools we use the most probably. Our Keystone jacks, Cat 5e, Cat 6, regular, you know, Cat 6 ends, crimpers for the ends, and VMAX tool. So we got 2 of these boxes in here. They're duplicates just so a second tech can jam at the same time, basically. And a lot of stuff in crates. We got these from Etsy. They make, a lot of people make, I'm looking to see if they'll do a 4-way one, but there's a 3-way divider. It's made out of wood that we got, so we keep our, well, there's some overflow, but basically 3-foot, 2-foot, 1-foot patch in there. And the other dividers, they're called bin beavers. They're plastic like the Packout material. They're 3D printed. You can get those online too. These, the only problem with them is they just divide in 2, and sometimes the crate's big enough. A 3 or 4-way divider is definitely handy. So yeah, so since we have this here, these are face plates, 1-port, 2-port, 3-port, 4-port face plates, surface mount stuff, plastic boxes basically, a double box, miscellaneous 4-port boxes, but basically modular boxes, right? Again, face plates. Once again, we put them in and everything just locks in place. So this is just extra overflow right now. We're still figuring that out. Down here, we've got miscellaneous J-hooks, just a box of J-hooks basically. And the cool thing with Packout is let's say we're going in, we know what we're going to do. We're going to do a simple wire run. We're going to use a few J-hooks. So I've been keeping my, oh, real quick, you're probably wondering, this is the only shelf that's not done. So here's the deal. These are 5-foot, 7-foot, 10-foot, 14. Really common desktop size, our most used patch cables, basically. So we keep these here. I didn't want to flip this shelf because here's the thing, and this is a kind of a weird system, but without hooking it like this, there's no way to really keep this guy stable. Okay, so driving around, he's pretty loose. And so what I do is I use that lip and I just use a clamp and I clamp it to it. And when I clamp it to the handle, it's so easy and it's super tight. Like it never moves. It's rock solid. So I had to keep this last shelf like that, but that's okay because, I mean, there's no better way that I can think of. Like these really don't do so well in a standard Packout box anyway. So that's why we kept the last one as it is, really, so we can clip our rolling toolbox down. We used to keep the box filled, but now, to be honest, I keep this empty. I keep it empty because that's my main transporter. So if I'm going in somewhere and I've got a switch to put in or a router to install or a couple access points or whatever, I'll put them inside the box. We have some bubble wrap and some foam, stuff to keep it safe inside the box. Once I put it in there and close the lid, extend the handle, then I have a platform. So now I have a rolling dolly with a Packout top, and then if it's going to be, say we're going to mount something on a brick wall, I'd bring my concrete box, I'd snap it on top, I'd snap whatever else I need, J-hooks, my wall cut box, my termination kit, of course, it goes with us all the time. And if if I was gonna do some, needing some J-hooks or some surface mount stuff or whatever, I would just take the whole crate and snap the crate in. So that way I'm walking into place with one big dolly, and it has all my stuff. So I go in, do my stuff, come back out with one dolly, snap it all back, and away I go. So it is a huge time saver. It really is. So yeah, just glad to be done with it though. It was a long project. We had to flip the shelves over. A lot of people were asking me, are the shelves upside down? And yes, you have to, because they won't work if there's a lip, obviously. So I had to take the shelves that are gonna take the mounts and flip them upside down. And to be honest, it was a pain lining them up. It really was. We had to line them up, drill the holes. It's kind of powder coated, it feels like, or has some kind of really slippery coating on it. So the drill bits don't, like if you're drilling, say here, it wants to wander a little bit. So it's not the easiest thing to do. In the end, after doing a few of them, I found I kind of made a pegboard template that fit roughly where I needed the holes. I drilled the ones that didn't fit perfect, and I used that template and just went shelf to shelf to shelf. So it saved quite a bit of time. And a lot of people were asking me about these actual mounts, and I don't know the backstory. These are really nice. These are aluminum, right? So they'll probably last forever. I don't believe the company makes these anymore. We got pretty much the last of what they had. We got really lucky. I don't know the story. I'm assuming maybe they got a cease and desist from Milwaukee. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say that because I have no idea. That would be my guess, but for whatever reason, maybe they just wanted to go in a different direction. I would think it's a highly sought after item, but as far as price, these, I can't, like around 10 bucks a pop. Well, there's a little one, and then there's a much bigger one. So this might have been, over 10 and a little under 10. So if you had to average it roughly out, pretty close to 10 bucks a pop, I'm guessing. And they work great. Now there is a company that, and maybe I'll post it in the link of this video, that I found that does some 3D printing that's making these same mounts but out of 3D printed material, which would be fine. We're gonna outfit one of our other vans like this, and I'm gonna have to use those because there's no more of these available. And I think the plastic will be fine. I mean, these are plastic, right? So it's just plastic on plastic. So yeah, so that's the plan. Sorry guys, a little technical glitch. I don't know what happened with the GoPro, but anyways, so yeah, so just basically happy to be done. I don't know how we're gonna have the layout just yet, but it's gonna be pretty close to what you see here. I just like it because you can drive around, nothing moves. It feels more solid than before we had this, because nothing slides on the shelves at all. Like, it's super solid. So pretty stoked about that. Trying to think here. Other people have asked me, about these are, I got some comments. They'll say, how do you get the Packouts on the wall? And these are just regular Milwaukee mounting plates, okay? It's just a standard mounting plate. Like I said, the only reason we don't use these over here is because they don't really fit. It would stick out to here, So, but in terms of mounting them on the wall, and these would mount on the wall too. Like, it'd be the same effect. These are easier because you just have one whole plate. Now there is a guy I found who makes a metal version of this, and it looks a little more compact. It doesn't flare out in the sides like that. So I sent him a PM. That might be interesting, because like I said, we're gonna start doing our other vehicles too. And the one I want to do next, I can't get these, so it's either get the 3D printed version of this, or maybe I can get an all-in-one metal one that will fit on the shelf. Because to be honest, lining these up, getting all the holes right, if I could take one long metal plate, it would save a lot of time, a whole lot of time, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope I addressed everybody's questions, because a lot of people were messaging me, asking me, how they stick on the shelves, how the metal plates work, how the mounting plates work, how they go on the wall. So I want to make a video that kind of showed the rough finished product and how it all fits together and so forth. So, ouch, I just bumped my head. So one thing, if I did it again, I would get an extended height van. I wanted this is a Ram ProMaster. A lot of people ask me about that too. It's the smallest one, the 118 wheelbase, which is great for, tech support calls and running service calls in the city and so forth, because, you know, parking's easy. It is really nice. I like it, but the top of the ceiling here, I think, is around 5'6" or so. 5'6", 5'7", I don't know. It's not very tall, so you definitely bump your head on it. And the extended version has a longer wheelbase, so you can fit more stuff in, and it is I think it's at least 6 foot high. So our next one we get is definitely gonna have that. And the other thing is ladders. Yeah, because this is probably 5 foot collapsed, so 5'6". We could fit a 6 foot ladder, or the next size bigger ladder, if we had the extended height, which would be handy. So, but yep, that's it. So hope I answered all the questions. Like I said, I was getting bombarded with different questions and so forth, but just happy to be done. God, it was a hot day, but you know, I'm just glad it's pretty much done here. So, all right. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and that's it.